Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 1st of April 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch video till last. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. Guys, you can download our application that named as Careers Cloud. You can download the link provided in the description box, and that is very easy method. And guys, after downloading, this first window will appear and you can log in with your email ID. After login, this second window will appear, and by clicking on this crack current affair section, you can subscribe a 1 year current affair as well as 2 year current affairs. Both the price of this subscription is very much low, but what we are providing under this subscription, we are providing daily current affairs. In the daily current affair, you will get the three sections. Under first section, you will get the detailed current affair of particular day. In the second section, you will get the question and answer format of the current affair on particular day. Next is the quiz section. It means you can test that how much current affair of particular day you can remember. Next is the weekly section, and again we are providing you three type of the sections. One is the detailed weekly current affair in the PDF format. Next is the question and answer format of the current affairs on weekly basis. Next is the quiz section. It means you can test that how much current affair you can retain for long time period on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and it is the most important section because we are providing so many PDFs in the monthly PDF section. Like first is the study PDF. It means all the details and theoretical current affair will be provided under this PDF. Next is the question and answer PDF. It means detailed current affair will be converted in the form of question and answer so that you can revise the current affair again and again. Next is the top 100 current affairs. It means best 100 current affair will be provided to you in the format of question and answer so that you can revise again and again. Next is pocket PDF. As the name suggests, it is very important to revise the current affairs quickly before your exam, and this is also provided in the theoretical format. So this is the daily, weekly and monthly section. But we are providing smart current affairs also, like topic wise PDF. It means in some exam there is a need of the appointments, there is a need of sports current affairs, there is a need of national current affairs. So you can revise topic wise, like apps and web portals of 2021, important days 2021, books and authors of 2021, even national current affair 2021, international current affairs are there, there is appointments are there. So these are very important section. You can revise according to topic. So this is very important and you have to revise the current affair very easily. Next, for the banking aspirants, we are providing two sections. One is the PDF in the question and answer format, especially for the banking and economy section, and one is the quiz section so that you can test that how much banking and economic current affair you can retain. Next, we are providing the exam PDF. It is very important for every exam because we are compiling the current affairs, like January and February completed, so we compiled it. Now March is completed, so we compile March in this PDF. Next is the special current affair, and it is again very important because budget and economic survey covered under this section. We are providing two PDFs. One is the detailed budget and the economic survey. Next is the expected questions related to budget and economic survey. And guys, the last thing is the state current affairs. We are also providing state current affairs because the students who are preparing for the CGL exams or banking exams, they are also preparing for the state exams. So that's why we are also providing the state current affair under one subscription. We are covering every state and the union territory so that it will be easy to revise the current affair at the national level as well as the state level. So guys, all these things comes under one subscription. So you have to download our application, that is Careers Cloud, and by clicking on the crack current affair section, you can subscribe 1 year current affair, it means 2021, and 2 year subscription as well for 2021 and 22. Both the subscription price is very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprised to see the price because the cost is very minimal. So on that minimal cost, we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount. And guys, one more thing, you can subscribe a 2020 current affairs also. 2019 we are providing free of cost, but 2020 we are providing at very minimal cost. We are also providing 6-month current affair for 2020 as well as 1 year current affair of 2020. So this is a new subscription for you. So you can subscribe if your exam is now. So guys, you can use this code ASH10 at anywhere, like 1 year subscription, 2 year subscription, or the 2020 subscription. So let's start today's current affair, that is the 1st of April 2021. And I am again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video because we have a target of 700 plus. We have to achieve this. You have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and you have to share as maximum as possible because we need your support. So let's begin with the most important question section. Here is the first question. What is the name of the Indo-US Joint Special Forces exercise which was conducted at Bucklow, Himachal Pradesh? So there are two things very important in this question. One is the name of the country, that is India and United States of America. Second, this exercise took place in which state? This exercise took place in Himachal Pradesh. This question is recently asked in one of the state exam, that Indo and US Yudh Warrior exercise conducted in which state? So answer was Rajasthan, but now that's why the state is also important, that where the exercise is conducted. So remember, Himachal Pradesh is the state where this exercise conducted, and it is in between India and United States of America. And name of this exercise is Vajra Prahar 2021, and it is the 11th edition of this exercise. And guys, remember, Sampriti 9 is exercise between India and Bangladesh. Malabar is a tri exercise between India, Japan and Australia. So these three countries took Malabar exercise. Indradhanush 5, it is between India and the Royal Navy. It means I am talking about United Kingdom. So you have to remember other three options like Sampriti 9 between India and Bangladesh, Malabar between India, Japan and Australia, Indradhanush 5 is in India and the United Kingdom. You can also see here India and US carry out joint military drill Vajra Prahar in Himachal Pradesh. You have to remember the state, guys. It is important. So you can see here it is the 11th edition of this exercise known as the Vajra Prahar, and the main objective of this exercise is to enhance the interoperability between the special forces of the two countries. It means it will strengthen the relationship between the two countries and also the capacity of the army as well as the other units of the defense system. The navies of India and the United States conducted a 2-day passage exercise that is known as PASSEX in Bay of Bengal. So PASSEX exercise, basically India connected with the navies of the friendly countries like Vietnam is there, Australia is there, recently done with the Bangladesh, Russia is there. So many countries are there who conducted PASSEX exercise with India. So it is not so much important. But you have to remember Yudh Abhyas 20. Yudh Abhyas 20 was exercised between India and United States, which took place in the border of the Indo and Pakistan, and the state is Rajasthan. So you have to remember Yudh Abhyas 2000. This question was asked in the state exam, one of the state exam, Yudh Abhyas 20. So it is held in Rajasthan. And guys, remember there is a word that is a special force exercise. Special force basically are the three branches of the Indian Armed Forces have separate special force units. Like you can see here, I am basically rubbing this. You can see here Para Special Force. It is known as Para SF. It is related to Indian Army. Next is Marcos. You have to remember this. Marcos is basically a special force of Indian Navy. It is a unit of Indian Navy. Next is Garud Commando Force. Garud Commando Force is a unit of Indian Air. So Garud means basically air. So Garud, Indian Air. So Para SF, Marcos and Guard. It is the special force units of the Indian Armed Forces. So remember this. Now we can move to the next question. Which country topped the medal tally in the 2021 ISSF World Cup? So two things are very important. What is the full form of this ISSF? So by this we can know that this tournament belongs to which sports. So ISSF stands for International Shooting Sports Federation. It means this is related to the shooting, and this is hosted by India. This World Cup is hosted by India and it took place in New Delhi. So these things are very important. You have to remember the 2021 International Shooting Sports Federation World Cup held in India, and exact place is New Delhi. And which country topped under this medal tally? And this is India. So guys, remember India total won 30 medals. Out of 30, 15 were gold. That is very important. 15 were gold and 9 were silver and 6 were bronze. And second rank goes to United States of America, and United States of America won total 8 medals. Out of 8, 4 were gold, and Italy won total 4 medals. So Italy has third rank, and USA has second rank, and India has first rank. So guys, you have to remember. So don't remember the name of the players because India won 15 gold. So you can't remember the 15 players name. You can remember the individual category name because in the individual category only 3 players won gold. So in the team events are there, in the mixed team events are there, so many people won the gold medal. So 15 gold India won. So you have to remember this World Cup and hosting country and how many medals India won. So there are three disciplines under this World Cup. One is the rifle, pistol, and shotgun, and all belongs to shooting. And out of these three disciplines, India won the individual category medal in the rifle as well as the pistol. So you have to remember this. And guys, remember the three player name is the Aishwari Pratap Singh and Chinky Yadav and Jashwani Singh Deswal. So you have to just read these names. Not important, but you have to read this name. These are important for your exam if examiner is asking that this player belongs to which game. So you can quickly answer that this player belongs to shooting. So India topped this medal. I already covered. And guys, remember this. How many countries are participated in this World Cup? 43 countries are participated in this World Cup. And recently, Indian shooter Elavenil Valarivan won the gold medal in the women event in the Sheikh Russell International Air Rifle Championship 2020, which was held recently. And we covered this question in the most important section. And guys, she won this medal in the remember the game Sheikh Russell International Air Rifle Championship 2020. And in the men's category, even you can say that in the men's event, Shahu Tushar won the silver medal. In the women category, Elavenil won the gold medal, but in the men's category, Shahu Tushar won the silver medal in the same event, like you can see Sheikh Russell International Air Rifle Championship. And one thing more important, we also covered in the most important section, like in January 2021, that India topped the medal tally with 11 medals. And out of 11, 4 were gold in the first Asian Online Shooting Championship, which was organized by the Kuwait Shooting Federation in January 2021. So you have to remember this also. So India topped the medal tally index in the ISSF World Cup as well as in the first Asian Online Shooting Championship. And in the Asian Shooting Championship, India won the 11th medal. So this is the very vital information which I told you. Now we can move to the next question. Who has been selected for the recipient of the Saraswati Samman 2020? And it is the one of the best literary award of India, Saraswati Samman 2020. First of all, you have to remember this, that Saraswati Samman award was given by which foundation? It is by the KK Birla Foundation. And this award was started in 1991. And total award money is 15 lakh rupees. So these three things are very important. This award is given by KK Birla Foundation. This event or the award was started in 1991 and total award money is 15 lakh rupees. And the winner of award is selected from the outstanding work from the 22 Indian languages, which are the scheduled languages under the 8th schedule of the Constitution. And this person is Dr. Sharan Kumar Limbale. So guys, you have to remember this name, Dr. Sharan Kumar Limbale. And he won this award, Saraswati Samman 2020, for his Marathi novel. Remember his Marathi novel named as Sanatan. S-A-N-A-T-A-N. This book, Sanatan, features the story of social culture struggles of the untouchables. So remember, the novel name is Sanatan, the language is Marathi, the writer is Dr. Sharan Kumar Limbale, who won Saraswati Samman of 2020. But you have to remember the other three options also, like Vasudev Mohi. He won 2019 Saraswati Samman Award. Pandit Satish Vyas, he won 2020 Tansen Award. Remember, Tansen Award in the individual category. In the organization category, Abhinav Kala Parishad won the Tansen Award. So guys, remember these other options because these are also important. Now we can move to the other question, but you can see the picture of Dr. Sharan Kumar, who won this Saraswati Samman of 2020 for his Marathi novel that named as Sanatan. Now we can move to next question. Which state gets first formal indigenous knowledge system school named as Naibu Navgam Yerko? So this name appears as a northeastern name. So it means it is started by one of the northeastern state, but all the options belong to northeastern states. So guys, answer is difficult, but you have to remember this because this is a first time that any state started this indigenously knowledge system of school under which traditional knowledge, traditional culture, traditional language will be practiced and will be taught by this institution. And this institution name is Naibu Navgam Yerko. And what is the meaning of this institution? Naibu stands for priest. Naibu stands for priest. Navgam stands for knowledge and wisdom. YERCO stands for the Learning Institution. So this is the meaning of this full name of the school. And this is started by Arunachal Pradesh. So guys, remember the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And this school is basically inaugurated by Kiran Rijiju ji, our Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports, and the State Chief Minister. State Chief Minister is Pema Khandu ji. So you can see here, it is the Northeastern School, and guys remember, it is to teach formal indigenously languages and culture, which will be also called the Naibu Navgam YERCO at the Kameng district of the Arunachal Pradesh. So Naibu means priest, and Navgam stands for the person having wisdom and knowledge. YERCO stands for the learning institution. And this school will promote and preserve indigenous traditions, culture and language by teaching to the students. So this is very important to promote the culture of the state. And guys, remember Arunachal Pradesh. Who is the governor of Arunachal Pradesh? This is again very important. Governor is B.D. Mishra. And there are very important 2 national parks in the Arunachal Pradesh. These 2 national parks, first I have to rub this. 2 national parks are very important. One is the Mauling National Park. Second is the Namdapha National Park. Namdapha. Namdapha or the Namdapha National Park in Arunachal Pradesh. So these 2 are very important. Otherwise, 11 or 12 are the wildlife sanctuaries, like Kamlang Wildlife Sanctuary is there, Itanagar Wildlife Sanctuary is there, Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary, because Dibang is a tributary of Brahmaputra. So that's why there is a Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary in Arunachal Pradesh. So you have to remember Mauling and the Namdapha. We can move to the next section, and it is the very important question section. But again, you have to like this video because we have a target of 700 plus. You have to subscribe this channel. You have to share as maximum as possible. So here is the first question in the very important section. Who attended 6th annual meeting of the Board of Governors of New Developmental Bank 2021? The most important thing under this question is the New Developmental Bank 2021. It was also known as the BRICS Bank because it was formed by the BRICS countries in 2014. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. South Africa joined later under this BRIC group. And who attended from the Indian side? Nirmala Sitharaman ji attended, Union Minister of Finance. You can see here, Dr. Shrimati Nirmala Sitharaman attends 6th annual meeting of Board of Governors of New Developmental Bank. And guys, remember, what is the theme? Theme is the new developmental paradigms, the evolution of the infrastructure. You have to just remember the first line, new developmental paradigms. This is the important. And all the governors, all the alternate governors of Brazil, China, Russia and South Africa also participated under this meeting. And under this meeting, New Developmental Bank approved $1 billion to support healthcare workers treating patients for COVID-19 in Russia. It means New Developmental Bank provided a $1 billion loan to the Russia. And this group was formed in 2014, not this BRICS. BRICS was formed in 2009, but this bank was formed in 2014. And where is the headquarters of the bank? That is in Shanghai, China. And who's the president? Marcos Prado Trujillo. And guys, you can also remember about the recent news about the New Development Bank. There are 2 news about the New Developmental Bank. One was the in December 2020 that New Developmental Bank provided $1 billion loan to India for the COVID-19 recovery. So like Russia also receiving $1 billion for the COVID-19, India also received $1 billion for the COVID-19 from the New Developmental Bank or the BRICS Bank. Second news is related to the New Development Bank that was in October 2020, and that was that NDB, New Developmental Bank provided $241 million loan to the Mumbai Metro and $500 million to the Delhi Ghaziabad Meerut Regional Rapid Transit System project. So 2 type of the loans are provided by the New Developmental Bank. 241 is basically for the Mumbai Metro and 500 million for the Delhi Ghaziabad Meerut Regional Rapid Transport. So guys, you have to remember about the recent news. Now we can move to the next question. Which company will set up underground cables to connect America with Southeast Asia? And this is very good news for the Southeast Asian people. And 2 countries are recently selected for this. One is the Singapore and second country is Indonesia. So 2 countries are selected for this. And this is an initiative of Facebook and they are doing this joint initiative with the Google. So answer of this question is A and C. So you can remember that Facebook and Google started this initiative to provide underground cables to connect America with the Southeast Asia. So you can see here, this is Singapore, and they will connect with the, Indonesia, and after that they will connect with the United States of America or the USA. So Facebook has partnered with Google and the other regional telecom companies to connect as the United States of America with the Southeast Asian countries through the undersea cables. So if they are providing the underground cables, it means by default they will improve internet connectivity in Singapore and Indonesia, because in the South Asia, two countries are selected for this. One is the Singapore and second is the Indonesia. Already Facebook deploys 300 km of fiber in Indonesia to develop public Wi-Fi hotspot. This is the only initiative of Facebook, not the Google. And there are two undersea cables. One is known as the Echo, second is the Bifrost. And guys, remember, these two will connecting the US with the Indonesia through a diverse sea route in the Trans-Pacific region. And first project is the Echo. Basically, it is constructed by the Facebook with the initiative of the Google and the Indonesian telecom company, and it is expected to completed by the year of 2023. Second is the Bifrost. Bifrost is also conducted by the Facebook, but it is conducted by the only Facebook, not the Google, in partnership with the Indonesian telecom company, and it is expected to complete by 2024. So the main country is Indonesia is there. So second preference goes to the Singapore. And guys, remember about Facebook. Facebook founder and CEO is Mark Zuckerberg, and it was established in 2004. Remember the year, it is important. Headquarters in California, United States of America. Now we can move to the next question. Which bank collaborated with the Tide? Tide stands for the UK-based business banking financial technology. It is a firm which is a United Kingdom based, and it is a business banking firm to serve Indian SMEs. So guys, the main company here is the Tide. Tide first market outside the UK is India due to its vast small medium enterprises population of around 63 million and the people entrepreneur spirit. And guys, remember, it is accounting, this Tide Platform Limited, accounting 25% of the global SMEs and 5% of the UK business banking market. So if they are tying up with any bank, it means they can serve the Indian small medium enterprises who are the customers of the Tide or who are the members of the Tide. It means Tide members will able to make seamless transactions from the Tide platform by collaborating with this bank. And this bank is, guys, RBL Bank. And remember about RBL Bank. RBL is very important for you. MD and CEO of this bank is Vishavveer Ahuja. Who is Vishavveer Ahuja? Remember this. And next is headquarter. Headquarter is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. And what is the tagline? Apno ka bank. Apno ka bank. This is the tagline of RBL Bank. Now you can see here, RBL Bank and Tide tie up for the SMEs Focused India platform. It means the Tide members will use the user interface of the RBL Bank so that they can use the seamless transactions. So it is to provide bank account infrastructure to Tide India platform, which is focused to serve mainly small and medium enterprises. It means all the enterprises will be served through the RBL platform. The Tide first market outside the UK, and it is the India's due to its vast SME population, around 63 million, the people entrepreneurial spirit. Even you can also see here that apart from the SME sector, unregistered and unorganized sector companies also will benefit the Tide because they can register through the Tide platform. The tie-up will provide an option for the SMEs to open current account and saving account at RBL Bank through Tide Business Platform, because Tide is now basically you can say the member of the RBL Bank. So it means Tide members now can open the current account and saving account at the RBL platform. So this is very good news for the Tide customers and especially for the small and medium enterprises who are the member of the Tide. And MD and CEO, headquarter and tagline we already covered. Now we can move to the next question, but you can just remember that Tide Platform Limited headquarters is in London, United Kingdom, and in India its headquarters is in Hyderabad, Telangana. We can move to the next question. Which bank has signed a loan agreement of $1 billion with the Japan Bank for International Corporation to provide loans to the Japanese automobile manufacturers in India? So in simple word, you can say that it is a tie-up of India and Japan for providing loans to the Japanese automobile manufacturers in India. Already in October 2020, SBI signed an agreement with Japan Bank for International Corporation for $1 billion loan. and now again this bank is SBI. It means overall SBI will get $2 billion from the Japan Bank for International Corporation so that they can provide loans to the Japanese automobile manufacturers in India. So it will basically provide the Make in India initiative and also assist the government Make in India as well as the Self-Reliant India initiative. So you can see here SBI signs another $1 billion loan agreement with the JBIC. So it is very simple. You have to just remember that overall they will get the $2 billion and the financing will assist the government Make in India initiative. In other words, you can say that SBI will provide the loan with refinancing for the funding support to the manufacturers, suppliers, and the dealers of the Japanese automobiles in India. And out of this $1 billion, $600 million will be financed by JBIC alone, and $400 million will be provided by the other banks of the Japan. And guys, the terms of agreement such as the tenure and the interest rates are not disclosed by the bank. So you have to just remember about the SBI. I think it is very simple. It was established in 1955 on 1st of July by the SBI Act of 1955. Chairman is Dinesh Kumar Khara and headquarters is in Mumbai. Tagline is the banker to every Indian. The banker to every Indian. Now we can move to next question. TriFed signed MOU with whom to implement minimum support price for minor forest produce and Vandan Yojana. Recently, they signed a MOU with the Madhya Pradesh for MSP for the minor forest produce and the Vandan Yojana. But now they are tying up with the Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Both union territories are now merged. That's why total union territories in India are 8. So guys, remember this. TriFed exchanges MOU with Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu administration for implementation of MSP for MFP process for the scheme and the Vandan Yojana. So the main aim of this tie-up is just to provide the fair prices to the tribal gatherers of the forest products so that they can get the minimum support price for the forest gatherers. And they are also establishing one Vandan Vikas Kendra. It means all the training to the forest dwellers, or you can say the tribal gatherers, and their product marketing will be done through this Vandan Vikas Kendra. And there will be the one Vandan Vikas Kendra in the Union Territory. So MSP for MFP is a flagship scheme for the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and who is the Union Minister? Union Minister is Arjun Munda. So you have to remember this. It is to provide fair price to the tribal gatherers of the forest products. And who is the managing director of TriFed? TriFed managing director is Pravir Krishna. And it was established in which year? It was established in 1987. And where is the headquarter? Headquarter is in New Delhi. So you have to just remember. Otherwise, just remember the union territory. Now we can move to the next question. Which small finance bank has collaborated with N-Store? N-Store is basically a mobile application technology firm to digitalize offline retailers and small businesses. So N-Store is basically launching an application for this small finance bank, and application name is N-Links. So guys, remember the name of the application. Application name is N-Links. It is developed by the N-Store. So by this application, all the customers of this small finance bank can register on this application and can sell their products through this application. So it means they can enhance their business, they can enhance their livelihood, and they can enhance their overall progress. And this bank is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So this is a new initiative of the Ujjivan Small Finance Bank by developing this application that is known as N-Links, and the customers of Small Finance Bank, this Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, can register on N-Links application and can sell their products at online platform. It means they can enhance their income. So you can see here, Ujjivan Small Finance Bank partners with N-Store to digitalize offline retailers. It means now offline retailers can also sell their products online. So N-Links was developed by the N-Store. This is the application provider company, and the local businesses and retailers can register online and host their product catalog on the mobile application, that is N-Links. So examiner can ask this thing, that N-Links application is developed by which bank? So you have to remember Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. And recently Ujjivan Small Finance Bank introduced this Money Kendra. It is a new channel to make banking services accessible to its customer in their neighborhood, because due to COVID-19 they can't go far. So that's why they are providing Money Kendras at physical locations, so that in their neighborhood they can access the banking services which are the customers of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. So guys, remember this. And who is the managing director of Ujjivan Small Finance Bank? That is Nitin Chugh. Headquarters in Karnataka, and tagline is a build a better life. So you have to remember all things. Don't remember N Store. N Store headquarters is in Chennai, but don't remember this. Just remember the Ujjivan Small Finance Banks. Now we can move to next question. What is the name of a common portal which was launched by CBIC for filing registrations and bills of entry? So the most important thing under this question is the name of the portal. Second is the CBIC, because it is launched by CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, notified to regulate all registrations, filing of bills of entry and other documents through a single portal. And this portal name is IceGate. So guys, remember the name of the portal is IceGate. So you can also see here IceGate portal, and CBIC notify IceGates as a common portal for registration of bills of entry, and it is specially for the customs. It means if you want to pay custom duty, if you want to pay custom tax, custom documentation, then you can just go to this portal that is known as the IceGate portal. So Central Board of Indirect Taxes notified the regulate all registration, filling of bills of entry and other document through a single portal named as the IceGate. And this IceGate stands for Indian Customs and Central Excise Electronics Commerce and Electronic Data Interchange Gateway. And it is a single portal for all the customs documentation and the duty payments. So the main aim to facilitate ease of doing business in the country through transparent and seamless online mode. So it means it will increase the transparency of the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. And who is the chairperson of this Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs? M. Ajit Kumar. So you have to remember this. Now other portals are there in the other options. You can also remember this. In the first option, you are seeing here Yuva Pay app, Yuva Pay application. It is launched by which bank? It is launched by Yes Bank to provide contactless payment service to the customers. Next is Elements. This is very important. You have to remember this. Elements application is launched by our Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, and it is India's first social media super application for audio, video calls, chats, etc. Next is the DigitalOcean, and we covered this question in the most important question about DigitalOcean application. So you have to remember this DigitalOcean. And this is also a platform, or you can say the online portal, which is launched by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, even the Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, Dr. Harshvardhan ji. It is the first of its kind platform for ocean data management purpose. And this question asked in so many exams because we covered this question. So DigitalOcean. So guys, remember all other portal or the application which was launched by recently. Now we can move to the next question. NPCI sets dash market cap on UPI's transactions for TPAPs with exemptions. So the most important thing under this question is what is the limit of the UPI transactions out of the total transactions, and what is the full form of this TPAP. So TPAP stands for third party, like transactions for third party application provided. So the transactions which are done through the third party. So the total market cap is 30%. Total market cap is 30%. The limit of 30% will be calculated based on the total volume of transactions processed on the UPI by the payment apps during the preceding 3 months. And players are given the time limit until December 2023 to comply with the market cap norms on the unified payment interface. So you have to remember the total time period to comply with this December 2023, and after 2023, in case of non-compliance, the regulator could prevent the player from onboarding new users. So guys, you can see here National Payment Council of India caps UPI transactions to check monopoly, so that only one company or two company can get the benefit of this monopoly of the UPI transactions. So limit is 30%. You have to remember this, and players are given the time limit until December 2023 to comply with the market cap norms of the UPI, because currently PhonePe and the Google Pay accounted for 80% of the overall transactions in the month of December 2020, and this is a kind of monopoly of the PhonePe and Google Pay. So to eliminate this monopoly, we have to just limit this UPI transactions. And guys, remember, NPCI will send 3 alerts to the third party applications and their partner banks when they hit a 30% cap. Like first alert will be provided when they are between 25 to 27%. Second alert when they are in between 27 to 30%. After crossing 30%, then there is a third alert. It is not a alert, basically it is just to send a message that now you have to stop onboarding new users with immediate effect. So guys, remember who is the MD and CEO of the National Payment Council of India? That is the Dilip Asbe. And where is the headquarters? Headquarters is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Remember the headquarters of National Payment Corporation Limited, because many students are answering it New Delhi. New Delhi is not a right answer. Answer is Mumbai. Next, who signed a MOU with the GIFT Special Economic Zone? It is a subsidiary of the GIFT City Limited to mentor financial services professional in the GIFT City. First of all, you have to remember about the GIFT. GIFT stands for Gujarat International Finance Tech City. It is one of the largest financial tech city all over world, and it is known as the Gujarat International Finance Tech City. Its headquarters is in Gandhinagar, Gujarat, to provide all the services and all the mentorship, all the training to the financial services of the professionals of this GIFT City. One organizations tied up with this GIFT Special Economic Zone, and it is one of the stock exchange. So it means C option is eliminated and D option is also eliminated. And by this organization, they are providing this all type of the mentorship through their academy, and this academy named as NSE Academy. So guys, remember this academy is NSE Academy Limited. So it means it is a national stock exchange. So answer is National Stock Exchange. So you can see here NSE Academy and GIFT City. And GIFT means Gujarat International Finance Tech City. Its headquarters, you have to remember, its headquarters is in Gujarat, Gandhinagar, to build trained manpower related to the international financial services. It means all the people working under the GIFT City, they will be provided training by this NSE Academy. And it means it is just to support the in-capacity building of the trained manpower by developing, launching and conducting training programs related to the international financial services. It means they will be getting awareness about the Indian financial system at the GIFT City. So guys, you can see here, it is just to develop, launch and conduct training programs, and all these programs will be conducted by the NSE Academy Limited. And where is the headquarters of this academy? As same as in NSE. It means it is in a campus of the National Stock Exchange. It is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Remember this. And both the organization will facilitate research in the field of international financial services, as well as create a platform to organize conferences, speaker sessions and knowledge series in the area of creating awareness about the Indian financial system. So remember, it is the NSE Academy. Now, next question is, recently Sagar Sarhadi passed away. He was belonged to which field? So very famous person, especially in the Bollywood, and this person named as the Sagar Sarhadi. So remember, and this question is also very important. You have to remember, it can be asked. And he died at the age of 87 in Mumbai, Maharashtra. He was born in Pakistan, British India, Pakistan. So guys, remember, he was a basically writer. He started his career as a writer with the Urdu short stories and later became a Urdu playwright. But he was very well known for the very, very big movies like Kabhi Kabhi of Amitabh Bachchan, Silsila, Bazaar. Even he had written some dialogues in the Silsila, Chandni Divana and Kaho Na Pyar Hai. So very famous writer, and the director died. So name is the Sagar Sarhadi. You have to remember the field and the name. So these two things are important. Now we are moving to the important question. But before that, you have to like this video, because we have a target of 700 plus. You have to subscribe this channel. You have to share as maximum as possible. First question in the important section, who released a report titled Investment Opportunities in India Healthcare Sector? So we have to increase our healthcare system because of COVID-19 as well as because of the future pandemics. So we have to increase the investment in the healthcare sector so that we can become the self-reliant in the healthcare sector. So there is a need of investment. So what are the opportunities of investment in the healthcare sector? This report is basically released by the Niti Aayog, and it is released by the CEO of Niti Aayog. And who is the CEO? CEO is Amitabh Kant. Amitabh Kant. So remember this. Who is the deputy chairman? Deputy chairman or the deputy president is or the vice president is Dr. Rajiv Kumar. Who is the chairman? Chairman is Prime Minister, and current Prime Minister is Narendra Modi. And Niti Aayog was created on 1st Jan 2015. So guys, remember this report name. Only you have to remember the report name. Investment Opportunities in India Healthcare Sector. Second question in this, which country will provide grant assistance to India of INR 1.93 crore to support healthcare projects? So this country is providing grant to purchase the medical equipments. So this country is Japan. and they signed 4 MOUs with the different trust or the hospital. Like they are providing the medical, they are providing some amount to purchase the medical equipments to Anchal Charitable Trust in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. They are also providing some funds to the Dr. Shroff Charity Eye Hospital in Uttar Pradesh. They are also providing funds for the medical equipments for the Hardyal Education and Orphans Welfare Society in Uttar Pradesh. It means 3 MOUs only with the Uttar Pradesh for providing the medical equipments. And last one is with the Manipur, like the Sheja Hospital, so that they can purchase the medical equipment. So this is just to improve the healthcare projects in India. And 3 MOUs with the Uttar Pradesh and 1 MOU with the Manipur to purchase the medical equipment. And all this fund will be provided by the Japan. And it is a grant, it is not a loan. Remember, we don't have to return this amount. So Japan, capital is Tokyo, currency is yen, and Prime Minister is Yoshihide Suga. Now we can move to the next section, and it is the one-liner important section. First is the International Transgender Day of Visibility 2021, celebrated on 31st of March. So not so much important day. It is not asked previously in any exam, but you have to remember it is celebrated across the globe on 31st of March to celebrate the lives of transgender people and to educate the general public about the history of the transgender. So just remember 31st of March. Next, former president of Madagascar, Didier Ratsirka, passed away at the age of 84. Just remember the name, that is Didier, and remember the Madagascar. Madagascar capital and currency you have to remember. Capital of Madagascar is Antananarivo. Antananarivo. Remember this. And currency is Ariary. It means Malagasy Ariary. This is the currency. Next is Nakaduba, Sinhala, Ramaswamy, Sadasivan, new species of butterfly discovered. It is discovered by 4 people, so that's why the name is like this, Sinhala, Ramaswamy, Sadasivan. And it is a species of butterfly and it is found in Western Ghats. So guys, remember, this is a species of butterfly. Next, United Nations ESCAP forecasted India's GDP growth to 7% in financial year 21. It means India will grow by the rate of 7% and India will contract at the rate of 7.7% in the financial year of 2021. So guys, remember, we are talking about which organization? We are talking about United Nations ESCAP. So what is the full form of this ESCAP? So this is very important organization and we talked so much about this organization earlier. This means United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Remember, Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. Its headquarters is in Thailand. Its headquarters in Bangkok, Thailand, and it was established in 1947. So it is just a prediction of this organization. Next, Ministry of External Affairs think tank, India Center for Migration celebrates Foundation Day on 27th of March. It is not so much important organization, but recently in the yesterday news we covered that India Center for Migration tied up with the International Center for Migration for the migration helpers. So that's why you have to just remember India Center for Migration is a think tank of Ministry of External Affairs. And who is the head of this India Center for Migration? It is the Secretary of External Affairs. And who is the Secretary of External Affairs? That is Harshvardhan Shringla. Remember. Next, Indian Navy IANS 310 celebrates Diamond Jubilee. So you have to remember this, that Indian Naval Air Squadron 310, which is also known as the Cobras, celebrated its Diamond Jubilee on the 21st of March 2021 because it was commissioned on the 21st of March in 1961 in France. So it has been continuously serving Indian Navy from INS Hansa for the last 60 years. So that's why they celebrated the Diamond Jubilee. And the INS 310 has participated in Operation Vijay in 1961, Indo-Pakistan War in 1965, Indo-Pakistani War 1971, Operation Pavan in 1987, Kargil War 1991, Operation Prakaram in 2001-2. So it was very helpful for India to win these wars. So guys, remember this INS 310 is also known as the Cobras. So now we can move to the question of the day. What was the question of 31st of March? And question was very simple. Question was, Punjab has a large number of inundation canals drawing water from. So I gave you hint that what is the longest river of Punjab? This is the first hint I gave you. Second hint I gave you that it is the longest tributary of Indus, not the largest, because largest is Chenab. So Chenab is not the answer. Answer is Satluj. Because Jhelum is not flowing in Punjab. So it is wrong answer. Chenab is also not flowing in Punjab, so it is wrong answer. Byas basically meets Satluj in Punjab, so it means it cannot be answer. So answer of this question is Satluj. Satluj is the longest river of Punjab. It is also the longest tributary of the Indus. Its total length is, I think, 1450 kilometer. I'm not sure, but I think 1450 kilometer is the total length of the Satluj. Now we can move to the question of the day. Golden Revolution in India refers to the growth of which? So very simple question. It was asked in 2016. So many revolutions are there, like Red Revolution, Yellow Revolution. Now we are talking about the Golden Revolution. There is another Golden Fiber Revolution. It is different, guys. It is known as the Golden Revolution only, not the Golden Fiber. Golden Fiber is basically related to the jute. Silver fiber is related to the cotton, but I am talking about the golden revolution only. So you have to tell me answer only in the comment box. So guys, please provide us 700 plus likes and subscribe our channel if you are new on this platform. And please press the bell button if you are not receiving any notification. So it is very much required to receive the notification on time. So please press the bell button. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. If you want to read our current affairs from the PDF, then you have to subscribe our current affair. You have to download our application that named as Careers Cloud. The link is given in the description box, and you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. And the price of both the subscription is very much low. You will definitely surprised to see the price, and on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount. You can also subscribe for 2020 current affairs, and the cost is very low. You have to visit our website for 2020 current affair, that is affairscloud.com/current affairs, and we are providing 6-month current affair of 2020, and we are also providing the full year current affairs of 2020. Price is very much low, and on that price we are also providing the discount of 10% by using this code ASH10. So guys, always be happy. Happiness is the key of success, and if you are happy, then your exam will clear easily. And don't take life so much serious. Life is fun, life is beautiful. Always be happy. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.